The press once again caught in another selective editing scandal, this time involving MSNBC for claiming that the father of a little boy killed in the Newtown massacre was heckled by gun rights activists. Take a look at this video that aired on MSNBC yesterday.
Why anybody in this room needs to have one of these assault-style weapons or military weapons or high-capacity clips. And now one person can answer that question. Or give me any.
No, it shall not be infringed.
All right.
Please, no comments while Mr. Heslin is speaking, or we'll clear the room.
So here's the part, though, that they didn't show you.
I ask if there's anybody in this room that can give me one reason or challenge this question, why anybody in this room needs to have one of these assault-style weapons or military weapons.
So, Greg, yesterday you did something that no one else had done before 5 o'clock. It seemed you actually watched the video.
Yes. I thought you said went to a bar and got drunk. Yeah, no, it wasn't just MSNBC that missed this. You know, Piers Morgan, Anderson Cooper, David Frum, everyone fell for this. It was just like the moon landing. And why did they fall for this? It's because it feeds your assumptions. Journalists don't know any gun owners. And so they assume that all gun owners are evil and wrong people with dark thoughts. It fed into their storyline, and they didn't want to give it up. And the storyline really is that gun owners are basically really bad, probably racist rednecks. And this is how they really feel, and this is how they really act. I will say this. Here's a solution, I believe, is we should have a journalist-American exchange program where we send one journalist to an American family somewhere in the Midwest or the South where they can live with them and see what guns are like, which are essentially like umbrellas, except they protect you from pain instead of rain. And there is I will say this is also a solution to our country's polarization when everybody unites in the belief that David Frum is a tool. That's definitely an achievement. I think no labels in this case actually worked.
Do you want to explain who he is?
No.
No. Okay. So he's a former speechwriter, and he has a blog, and he writes a lot. And he had tweeted about it yesterday. Then late, I think today, he sent out something that said, "Okay, maybe I jumped the gun." And in the world of social media, maybe that's what happened. But Kimberly, do you think there's more to it that journalists just want to be there? So they want to be there first, and they want to be there sensationalistically. And they got caught doing this before. Remember on NBC, they edited the Trayvon 9/11 tapes, and then that got to be 9/11 tapes, and that got to be a big thing. And then on there was the Under God. Remember, they edited out the Under God thing in the montage of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Also, when they edited out the skin color of a Tea Partier who was carrying a gun. Do you remember that?
No.
Well, they made it was a black man. They made him look white because they didn't believe they wanted it to be the gun owner to be white. Again, playing into the storyline that Tea Partiers were racist.
Well, okay, I'm going to get Kimberly's thoughts on this because having his testimony, Mr. Heslin's testimony yesterday, was really important for that hearing. He had the personal experience, and I know emotions are running high across. I thought it was dramatic enough without having to edit the tape.
Absolutely, and his voice deserved to be heard. He's someone who's entitled to give his opinion, especially after all that his family has gone through. But it's very disturbing when you see the media distort a situation like this and could kind of just edit to make it what they want it to be, and saying that he was heckled when you look at the tape, and that's not the case at all. He posed and asked a question, and there were some people that seemed to kind of want to respond back, but it wasn't a heckling of the man or a disrespect to him in his situation or the loss of his child. The media is in such a rush, the mad dash to be first, to be fast. They don't care about the accuracy. It seems integrity has been left behind.
But interestingly, on social media, though, because of it, in some ways you could blame it for everybody moving too fast. But actually, Eric, it does serve as a check, almost an immediate check on the media by other people. And I give Michelle Malkin at Twitchy.com a lot of credit. Sure. She was on this immediately and said this is not true, and she didn't let up until they apologized.
Yes, she's pointed out as a hoax right away. But let's see the other check. Let's see if the lefty websites like Media Matters goes after Martin Bashir for an edit that's just a complete egregious misinterpretation of what actually happened. That gentleman said, can anyone stand up and say anything? People did not answer for 5 seconds. They edited together an answer right up against when he said, will anyone stand up and say, and made it look like a heckling. It wasn't actually a heckling. He asked the second time, and then people said something. You're not supposed to talk in court. It was clear that the man was looking for someone to say something. They got that. Martin Bashir made it look like something it wasn't, completely wasn't. But let's see if these Media Matters types go after Martin Bashir. I have a hunch they won't.
No, they're
but
actually
only us if we go ahead. And by the way, we edit stuff, but we edit stuff when things are too long. We don't take things out of context the way that he did.
Bob, do you have any thoughts on
We don't chop it, Bob.
No. First of all, I fell for this yesterday. I was going to use it for my one more thing. And Greg, fortunately, he said, you better take a look at this whole film. And I did, and he was right. Although I will say this, I mean, frankly, I don't care how many times he asked, given the fact he lost his kid, I think I would have just kept my mouth shut.
That's not the question, though.
Well, no.
It was the selective editing.
Bringing it together it fooled me, and I got it off the front of Huffington Post. And so it was you know, I fell for it.
But would you agree it's inexcusable for the media to do that? They're not reporting the news.
I think it is inexcusable. I also think it was bad taste for people to answer the question.
They're manufacturing the news. How is that okay?
But no wonder America distrusts journalists and hates most of the media. Each day you're lied to by bitter hacks who really do think you're stupid. They think you're stupid, and they hate Fox News as a proxy for America. It's like because we don't fall in line and do this stuff.
His editing, though, Greg, is laughable. If you remember during the election, he was going after Mitt Romney and putting stuff together just made absolutely no sense. If you look carefully, you can see there were clear differences in the edit. I mean, if you watch, I don't even know why you'd even watch it. The guy hasn't even been relevant since Michael Jackson.
Well, I mean, the way he edited that, he clearly took the sound and moved it around on that videotape. Now, but just for our own purposes here, I don't think we've ever done anything like that, edited a tape. We have, though, on occasion. You're famous, I built that, but you didn't build that, or whatever it was.
What was the one with Joe Biden on the phone calling somebody? That was your favorite.
We took the thing I got was, you didn't build that. We didn't put that, we clipped that out. We didn't put it all in context, but that's different.
Yeah, but that actually, it made it, when you ran that full tape, it made it worse.
The context it was better to just shorten it.
But the point is that we didn't try to alter it in a way that made it sound different.
And so you have to ask yourself, why do people create false stories? And it's to advance an agenda. To them, news is like their canvas, and that they are the Oliver Stone creating their own fictional dream scenario because they believe that their feelings actually trump thinking and trump fact. It's always going to be for the greater good to lie if your lies in your mind feed to this.
And how much do you think is the agenda, and how much do you think is the sensationalism of it?
I think that their agenda is they hate a part of America, a specific part of America. People who own guns are just a symbol of that America. And whenever they find something, whether it's Lawrence O'Donnell or Bashir, find something that validates that idea, they can't let go of it. It's got to be true.
Do you know how egregious that is, though, to put a sound of people reacting to something up against something that he wasn't even asking. It wasn't even a response to what he had just said. It'd be like if President Obama was talking about something terrible and then us editing the audience clapping about it on the heels of it. It's terrible. It's not journalism.
It's beyond duplicity.
I
think it's actionable. How do you keep a job in that?
Is there something in the press world where there's accountability factors? Does the National Press Corps have some sort of board or something like that calls you on these things?
I think the peer pressure for journalists serves as the best check against them.
I disagree. I have instituted a journalistic spanking program where when this happens, they actually have to come to my apartment and I spank them vigorously.
So are you looking forward to spanking?
There's a lot of outside your apartment.
Yeah, for some it's not a deterrent.
Okay, gotcha.
See, a lot of journalists...
Now you have someone else issuing the spanking.
I hear Martin Bashir's at your door right now.
They're going to light up your Twitter world right now. I'm going to get to the